here we are, game number 5 of the TSL round of 8 Saturday. We've arrived on Metropolis in the left side as the blue Protoss. We've got LGI in first, who's tied the series up at 2-2, fighting the uphill battle. His opponent at the 12 o'clock, the red Terran, it is Sting. And I once again want to take the time to promote TSL Plus. Kenna gets blind dates, can't pay for themselves. So if you want to head over to teamliquid.net/TSL Plus, you can see all the features that you get out of that TSL Plus subscription. You can get 1080p streams, a free poster, private chat, no ads, a 5% store discount, and the raffle giveaways.
And you support TeamLiquid, which is of course amazing to do so in the TSL of course as well. But going on to Metropolis here, can be a very difficult map for Protoss players if the right aggression is applied, because once again, the third base is relatively far away. It can be difficult to hold on to drops in the main and attacks on the ground on the third base, but statistics show recently that Protoss have been doing well here against Terran. So very excited to see how First is going to apply, because to be honest, we haven't seen a straight up non-wacky game at all so far, and First has never had the chance to actually play his more traditional straight-up double forward Colossus style, because he's playing so reactionary against an insane opponent.
But you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I think as long as this series continues to go in this direction, the longer it goes on, the better First's chances are looking. Look how he's reacting now, sending his probe extremely quickly so he can get it into the main base. He knows that success has favored him when he's gotten that probe into the main base before the second depot, and is able to see what kind of opening Sting is doing. And we can see he's gone for 1 gas thus far, hasn't completed the wall off, and look at the reactions out of First, going for a double assimilator.
Yeah, just always giving that tech option available so he can expand tech up fast, get sentries, get stalkers out, and that's a decent option to take here. And especially because I love that he always goes ahead, and depending on what he sees. The one thing that's really weird here is he decided to leave, decided to scout outside the natural, and now because of that is locked outside the main base. And we'll never know now whether that tech lab will come down on the barracks, whether a factory will go down, but he's scouting in case there's anything being proxied, trying to eliminate other options. And there's the factory going to come down once again.
Yeah, I guess he values knowing that there's no proxy more so than knowing what the tech follow-up is. As you mentioned, factory going down, still on 1 gas, so fairly economic opening here for Sting. Nothing too crazy going on thus far. Sting going to get his SCV into the main base of First. Going to see double assimilators, the cybernetic score wrap up, and the chrono boost going down with the Zealot coming out of the gateway. That's going to make that SCV turn tail and get out of that main base.
Yeah, and I think we'll see a similar build like last game, where he's kind of forced to go into the Nexus first, but if he goes and sticks to the regular pattern that First has been playing, if he doesn't know if it's a tech lab or not, then he gets the Robo and Gateway down initially, then expands. But we'll see how he's going to play this out. I love it that he always goes Nexus, then to Robo initially, because he never knows if that second gas is going to come down or not. He's never going to know if it is going to be Cloak Banshee, and in these positions it very well could be. So by the looks of it, he is going to get that Nexus down, and then most likely, as anti-ship, go straight to Robo, then additional gateways, knowing that he's not exactly sure what's coming.
And that looks like precisely what First is going to do. It's interestingly, he's pulled 1 probe from either assimilator, so still going to try to maximize his economy and balance it very well. Now with that Nexus down, we should see the robotics dropping right away, and there it goes once the probe gets out of the way. Stalker running up, going to take a little bit of fire from the Marines, but he just wants to drive the lane, see that there's no command center. Interestingly enough, walking up the ramp, taking a little bit of damage, wants to get a precise Marine count there. Meanwhile, as we see Sting doing a little switcheroo, going to get Cloak here. So very early Cloak for Sting, follow up with a Banshee.
Yeah, and that's really smart to get Cloak first, because you usually have 2 options, get the Banshee first or the Cloak first. And in these positions, the distance between bases are really short in terms of air distance, so there's no need to get the Banshee out immediately. It's rather to get the Cloak out, because of course the Banshee can fly really, really fast across there. But already it looks like we have an amazing probe by First in the center left of the map that's in patrol move, waiting for the Banshee to actually arrive. And he's once again reading very nicely into this. Though, what is the follow-up going to be? It's actually double barracks coming down as well on this.
Oh wow, so it looks like once a redo of last game. Gonna start out with Cloak here as opposed to the Hellion drop, and then gonna follow up with more barracks pressure. Let's see the tech lab, yes, going down on the factory, so very similar to last game. Unfortunately, the Banshee flying right over the probe, gonna take it out, and the Observer is already out. I imagine there will be a second observer. Yes, so First is well aware of this and well prepared for it.
Yeah, he shouldn't really take any damage to this Banshee. The second one could do damage, of course, if the Observer's out of position. This one Banshee, though, is going down to the natural, and First has to follow it. Is now moving his units down, and to be honest, if he plays this out well, shouldn't take any losses. The Observer in the main base sees everything as well, but on the natural, the Banshee gets in, and he is going to take a one probe kill, but that's okay, but he's going to get in the main to do more.
Yeah, and Sting's not going to want to commit too heavily to this. It's more important that he saves the Banshee than dealing economic damage as the expansion is up, and the follow-up is where Sting needs all that firepower. Taking a look in his main base, he's got the first tank going to be completing now, and just continuing with Marine production. No add-ons on barracks number 2 and 3, just going to crank out as many Marines as possible, continuing with Banshee production. And let's keep our eyes on when that siege tech starts, because that's going to kind of set the pace for when the attack is going to come out.
Oh, the Robotics Bay coming down here as well, knowing what he's going up against. An excellent decision here, but I'll go into that in a minute. As the Banshee arrives in the main base again, he's going to get he doesn't get a kill actually, but it goes down to the natural, and gets one more. So 6 kills in total. The one at the north is going to go into the main base as well, and the Stalkers are out of position, so he can at least get one, and he does. And if you compare this 1-1-1 to the last game here, Chill, is that he's doing a lot of damage with harassing units to begin with compared to nothing. But the Robotics Bay is so crucial. If a Colossus comes out, that's just, Marines are dead.
And looks like it's not going to be a siege attack here. He's just going to do it with unsiege tanks, unless he's forgotten siege tech, or he's going to delay the attack to start getting it now. Yes, very late siege tech. I find that extremely surprising, but he's going to press forward with Marine tank, adding on the Banshees to get them to swing around and unite the front. Taking a look, Colossus at about 50% now. He's going to have to drop some Chrono Boost out and get that out before these tanks get in position.
And he can almost afford another one. As soon as he gets to 200 gas here, I would not be surprised if he built another one. He may, though, not choose that risk, because if you build another one, that's, for example, 4 more Stalkers you can't have. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he decides to do this. I think he should go for another Colossus and then add on Zealots with the minerals that are left over here. With 3 gateways on the way, the first Colossus is out. If he can stall a little bit with these Stalkers, but no, he can't stall anything, the attack is still coming. With 1 Colossus, it doesn't have thermal lance, but it will sure as hell melt these Marines and SCVs.
Absolutely. It's going to be so key for the tanks and Banshees to target it. Looks like they're playing a little game, dancing back and forth. Siege mode still not complete, just wrapping up now. 78, 79, 80. He's able to siege his tanks now, and he's got beautiful positioning on the ramp. This is very uncomfortable for First. Looks like he's going to run around and try to cut off the reinforcements.
And that Colossus, if it pops out the robotics facility, it's dead. There's 3 Banshees there. What is First doing? He's going around the long way. Is he going to call for reinforcements? Is he going for a base trade here? I think he may be, because he's hiding probes on his natural. What is this? What is going on here? The robotics facility goes on, and the base races on. Who's going to win it?
And First is actually supply blocked, so he cannot warp in any more units to try to deal with this. Trying to warp in more pylons, but he's losing them equally fast at his natural. And now Sting has claimed his ramp. First is charging up to claim Sting's ramp, and as you mentioned, a good old-fashioned base race. Unfortunately, one of them still has production, and that one is Sting.
And the SCVs, SCVs with the army, so they can rebuild anything, but there's 400 minerals been banked by First here, so we actually can build a Nexus elsewhere. Colossus and Stalker and Zealous in the main base are going to go down, though, quite easily. I mean, there's 4 Banshees there, Chill, so if he just goes in close, there's only 2 Stalkers. So, to be honest, he should lose nothing of his main army. The Banshee should kill everything in the main base, and if he does take losses to Marines and SCVs, that's actually rather sloppy.
This is actually madness. Looks like all the SCVs, or not all of them, but a majority of them going to be able to get out of the main base and run over to the old main base of First, and the command center floating over. The orbital is now burning. He's got to get it to a place where he can land it, and I don't believe there's anything over here. He's just going to fly it into the corner, and that is going to burn down.
Oh, really nice play in the main base here, not losing hardly any SCVs and Marines there, so smart play. And I think that Sting's going to be able to do it. If you look at the anti-air remaining, there's the really big factor here for First. 7 Stalkers and 1 Sentry for a Guardian Shield. If a command center lands and he's able to build supply depots and then is starting to mine again from the orbital command that he may be... No, he's not going to rescue it. Okay, never mind, screw that. But with the new one that he has, if he can get another Banshee out to tally up to the 5 he already has, he's got siege tech. There's like no way First can actually attack into this.
Yeah, absolutely. We see Sting building that command center, as you mentioned, but under the watchful eye of the observer, Sting is continuing to be aggressive, pressing forward, doesn't want to just sit back and defend, and first maybe walking into a fight he doesn't want to get into. I think he should be a little bit more passive here, wait for Sting to make a mistake, group his Banshees where they shouldn't be, but going back for some more repairing, Sting's going to float out that barracks to see what's going on, and look how aggressive first is being.
Yeah, he can't be aggressive. He has to go back and mine. That's like the game gets reset. I mean, he can't attack into siege tanks. The command center will lift up and will mine. Banshees, though, are just going to be the pain in the arse in this game. It's going to be really difficult to deal with them. And the game will continue here, Chill. I don't know how long for, though. Who's going to try to attack? I mean, if first attacks, he's dead. You really can't attack into this. But Sting won't attack anytime soon. Imagine if he got a Raven out with the gas he's got back. Like, goodbye observers, and then it's nothing left to detect. It's hard to call how this is going to go. It really depends on what they're thinking of actually doing. The first isn't even mining. Okay, sorry, he is.
Well, with the command center being morphed into an orbital command, that brings scan back into it as well. Of course, the mules can be used, but he's got to land that. And there's the first scan. Going to take out one observer. Second one, oh, get out of there. You got to get out of there. Does get out, but taking a look at the units tab, there's only 2 observers remaining. Going to build up that energy on the orbital command for a second try.
I don't know why Sting's moving out. He should just lift his command center, put it down, build supply depots, build a Raven, because not only will the Raven detect the observers, a point defense drone. You know, goodbye Stalkers.
Oh my god, the Banshee at the right side finds the base and taking out the probes. First is forced to run, and looks like he's just going to attack here, trying to catch the Banshees out of position and take him down. Colossus trying to swipe at the Marines, but with the Marine flank and the tanks working from the back and the Banshees taking down the Stalkers, everything is just going Sting's way here.
Yeah, he is indeed, and he's going to pick off, I mean, the last 2 Stalkers. As long as he doesn't lose the Banshees, there's no anti-air in this game, so it doesn't matter what happened.
Wow.
And the Banshees are going to fall down. I mean,
what a strange game.